Welcome to episode 2 of Sportsball with Nick and Jamal. Just for clarification, once again, I'm Nick, that's Jamal.
Just so you're clear.
Just so you are clear. And we've gotten an upgrade. We're out of the sound booth now, and we're actually in the studio, and we've got like cameras and everything.
It's actually a full production now. Actually, we look like we work in a television studio now instead of two guys in a garage somewhere.
Which can be fun. You know?
Occasionally.
Okay, NCAA tournament is going on right now. Michigan State both won both their games over the weekend. And the thing I want to bring up with you, Jamal, because you were in Des Moines covering both teams, the whole finger waving of Tom Izzo that Twitter went crazy about. This is the thing that I thought, and I told this to him earlier. Tom Izzo is not, historic Indiana coach.
Bob Knight.
He's not Bob Knight. He's not throwing chairs. He's not grabbing players by the throat.
Yep.
He is motivating them, and he would never, ever harm one of these kids.
And if anyone thinks that Tom Izzo would strike a player in the NCAA tournament on national television, they're out of their minds. Mm-hmm. One, he'd never strike a player, period.
Yep.
That's the truth. He wouldn't put his hands on a guy. But if you think Tom Izzo, a Hall of Fame coach, would cross that line for the world to see, you don't know Tom Izzo. And everybody saw his emotional side during the Big Ten tournament.
When Aaron's got hurt.
Yep, and Izzo was right there comforting a senior or a redshirt junior who had suffered a gruesome ankle injury, and Izzo was near tears along with the rest of his team. You could see how much he cared. But honestly, he didn't do anything in that tournament game that he hasn't done for his entire career.
Yes.
And that got him into the Hall of Fame. So for people now to raise the stink about it, when that's how he has always coached, was pretty shocking to me.
And I wish I could remember who said this so I can cite them. But somebody pointed out the fact that this may be a big reason why one and dones don't go to Michigan State, because maybe they've been used to their whole youth and whole career being told how wonderful they are, and they're never coached like that.
Correct. A lot of the elite players that Tom Izzo's got over the last couple of years have Midwest ties. Mm-hmm. You know, Jaren Jackson was a one and done last year for the Spartans. He was from Indiana. Miles Bridges is from Flint. Gary Harris is from Indiana. Deontay Davis from right here in Muskegon.
West Michigan.
So, you know, a lot of the one and dones that Izzo has received recently have been Midwest guys who are pretty close to campus, can still see their families, but he's not getting that elite kid out of New York or North Carolina or California, maybe because they don't want to be pushed or they don't want to be coached. His style is not for everyone.
No.
But as Aaron Henry did say after the game, you know what you're getting when you come to Michigan State to play for Tom Izzo.
Exactly. Okay, so done with that. What do you got on your mind?
I know when you look at the Big Ten, you know, Nick and I have talked all year long about how the Big Ten's the best basketball conference top to bottom. Sure, some others might win the NCAA championship, but there's an interesting stat I wanted to bring up to you, Nick.
Okay.
This year, with Purdue, Michigan, and Michigan State all making it to the Sweet 16, the Big Ten has at least 2 teams making it to that round for the 12th consecutive year.
Unreal.
Which is the longest streak in the country. So even though this conference hasn't won a national championship since Michigan State in 2000, top to bottom, like I said, they keep doing so well, they're making runs in the tournament.
So you keep giving the ACC #1 seeds. You keep doing that, and the Big Ten every year is probably putting, and we'd have to look this up, but obviously substantial numbers in the late games in this tournament every single year.
Michigan's been to the national championship game twice in the last 6 years.
And 22 times in the tournament, I think it is?
I think so, yeah. Michigan State's made the tournament, I want to say 22 years in a row.
That's what
in a row.
Saying, yeah.
So, yeah, Wisconsin's made the national championship game recently. I mentioned the Michigan's done it. Michigan State's made it to the Final Four twice in the last 8 years, I believe it is now. So the league as a whole, top to bottom, as deep as it's ever been.
Okay, I wanted to bring up something non-basketball for a second, because this just happened today. Rob Gronkowski, calling it a career at 29 years old. I think he's won 2 or 3 Super Bowls.
3.
You could consider the fact that he's still in his prime, maybe on the way down. But I'm thinking to myself, good on you, Gronk. You're still healthy. You still got it all going up here probably. You got more money than your grandchildren are ever going to need. I think this is a great decision on his part, and I'm just going to say, I hope it sticks.
It's easy to retire at 29 when you got 3 rings.
Yeah.
It's easy to retire at 29 when you've got the endorsement deals that he had. He's made movies. He's been in TV shows. Somebody told me that Gronk was on the Shaq financial plan, which is you don't touch your contract money. Mm-hmm. They don't use their playing money. He's been living off of endorsements and investments. So if Gronk hasn't even touched his NFL salary yet.
Why play the most violent game there is?
Already has elbow injuries, already has back injuries. You said 3-time Super Bowl champ. He's been an all-pro, all that stuff. Might as well hang it up and live a healthy life.
And this is what a lot of people are saying, and it just made me think how pilloried a generation ago when Barry Sanders was, when he hung it up. Now, granted, that was right before season started, if I remember correctly.
On the eve of training camp.
On the eve of training camp, but at the same time, the most violent game there is. He was the career rushing leader at that point in time, and he was a year older, I think, at 30.
Yep, he was within striking distance of Walter Payton's all-time leading record. Would have got it with ease because Barry had always gotten, I believe, 1,100 or 1,200 yards. He had some great run where he was guaranteed pretty much 1,000 yards in a season. Barry was the best, but he knew his body better than anyone. Not only was he tired of the physical pounding, he's tired of losing. Gronk obviously doesn't have that problem.
And how much different our perception about what your body goes through in this game than when we were kids, though?
Yep,
about how our reactions are to this.
The death of Junior Seau and several other former players.
CTE thing going on.
And now you know just how bad their brains get rattled and just what kind of long-term ramifications that could have. For some, it's keeping their children from playing the game in general. But for those who have already started down that path, we've seen college athletes retire from football, and now you're seeing NFL guys retire earlier, and people are saying, like you said, good on you. Things have changed.
All right, you are on your way now for the NCAA tournament to cover Michigan. Are you with Michigan or Michigan State?
I'm with Michigan State. I'm heading to D.C. Mike Lissette heading to Anaheim. He's got the Wolverines.
Okay, and one other thing before we get out. Major League Baseball starts on Thursday.
What? Jeez.
I know, right?
Yeah, where'd spring training go?
Jamal's big Tigers prediction is?
The team will finish third place in the division. They won't finish dead last.
And that's not playoffs.
Right, that's not playoffs. The Tigers will finish in third place. Miguel Cabrera will only play 110 games this year. Those are my predictions.
Big body starting to break down.
Yep, Father Time's undefeated.
All right. Thanks for watching the second edition of Sportsball with Nick and Jamal. Once again, for clarification, Nick.
Jamal.
Thanks for watching, everybody.